glass, every curve, bubble, and swirl of color tells the story of the hands that made it. A beauty that comes from imperfection.
I hope with everybody that they can see a version of themselves through their own creativity, through the things that they make.
Luke Adams' glass-blowing studio in Norwood molds molten glass into these stunning creations at an impressive number, more than 400 every day.
There's no limitation with glass. It feels like you can do anything with it. There's something about liquid, fire, glass. There's a hypnotic nature to fire in general, so being able to work around that.
When light passes through, it dances, bending, refracting, revealing new shades with every angle. Luke Adams also shines the light on people, offering new perspective, changing lives.
I stumbled across this job on Craigslist. I had no idea what glass blowing was. I just saw it was a job that was hiring. Now I'm a glass blower artist. They taught me everything that I know.
3.5 years ago, Kyrie Johnson walked through the doors, not knowing that this was more than a job listing. It was a lifeline.
Don't get scared of the fire, of the melted glass. Man, just don't burn yourself. You're dealing with something that's like extremely hot and dangerous, and it's nerve-wracking. You have to be fast-paced, calm. Glass blowing's like Tai Chi. You have to flow like the wind, like the water, but every movement that you do counts for what you're gonna do to that glass.
Before the studio, life looked different. He grew up in Brockton. Opportunity wasn't always easy for him to see.
I used to be in a lot of trouble in the streets. I got locked up in jail for a few charges, got bailed out. I was on probation. Looking for a job while you're on probation was very difficult because a lot of people are not gonna really wanna work with you. Luke worked with me, and he made everything possible for me to get that out the way and to keep working.
After all, Luke himself had to learn, had to grow.
Part of the journey as an artist was learning not only how to make things, but then to realize the most important asset that you have in a business is your people. And it took me a while to do that. I was a jerk for a really long time, and over the course of the years I realized how important everybody here was. When we hired Kyrie, he told me about some of the decisions he had made and things, mistakes, and the thing I had said to him right away was that that's not you. Those things that maybe you did, that's not the you I know, that's not the you I see. You have a chance right now to just draw a line and do something different, and he does.
And he did.
I found purpose, I found a career, I found a family, I found a lot of things on a website I didn't even think that I would even find. My son is 9 and my daughter's 7. They be watching me on the Facebook Lives all the time, and they be loving it.
Each piece that breaks, they make again. And somehow, that's the story too, of glass and of people. Next time you look at that piece of artwork on your own shelf, remember, each one tells a story of resilience, of renewal.
I really never knew what I wanted to do in life when I was younger. This is the last thing I thought I was ever going to do. I just hope a lot of people find their thing. It will come.
Because sometimes one open door, one spark, is all it takes to change a life.
It's a great story, and Kyrie hopes to open his own glass-blowing studio at some point and teach others how to work with fire and glass.
It's so cool, and visitors can come into Luke Adams Glass Studio and watch the team create, make those pieces. The space also doubles as an event venue, and they are adding a restaurant as well.
What's going on?